All right, all right. So this afternoon I was enjoying the Mario Brothers movie, a really nice movie. Everyone in the theater was excited about it. It was packed. People were clapping and laughing. Good time in the theater there. I noticed I started getting lit up on social media. At least a few dozen folks, including Brian G, there wanted to know, Eric, there's a new episode of The Mandalorian out, and oh, it's a special episode. Where are you? We depend on you for your Mandalorian coverage. So here we go. Chapter 22. Was it chapter 22? I don't even care anymore. It's called Guns for Hire. And we're not talking about Mando guns. We're talking about those big, sweet, bodacious guns of Lizzo. All right, so if me spoiling that Lizzo, who I didn't know who Lizzo was until today, and I had to go look it up. If me spoiling that Lizzo was in this episode of The Mandalorian offends you, this is not the channel for you, okay? So let's just get that straight right away. And like seeing Lizzo, it triggered my PTSD from She-Hulk. I started to think about Megan Thee Stallion and the twerking. I started to sweat. I got clammy, cold and clammy. I felt my stomach churning. I was getting hives. I started to like black out. I'm thinking about filing litigation against Disney. I think they proceeded to put Lizzo in what used to be entertainment I liked. They proceeded to do so with reckless disregard to my emotional health. And I'm thinking about filing litigation. But thank God Lizzo did not twerk. So if there's a positive, that's definitely it. All right, let's go through this episode because we even have more guest stars showing up. It's like a 70s sitcom, The Mandalorian now. You just never know. Harvey Korman might be showing up. It's like the holiday special, this show. Oh, God. Oh man, it's so close to being Book of Boba Fett. It's so close to being Obi-Wan. It's okay. Anyway, this show starts off with a Quarren captain, a female, of course. The Force is female, and she's on the bridge of her ship, and it looks a little Star Trek-y. And I liked how she was like in an aquarium. I thought that was actually kind of cool, I guess. And then the aquarium goes down, and then she's sitting in a chair. But I was digging on it. And then these racist Mandalorians show up. Yeah, and led by Axe Woves and Sasha Banks. The lovely Sasha Banks is a part of that crew. And they've been hired to interfere with interspecies relations between the captain and I assume a younger Mon Calamari boy, or I don't know. I don't want to assume genders, but it appeared that the Quarren was a female, an older captain, female, and a younger Mon Calamari boy. So it was kind of on that, a little pedo-ish, let's be honest. And those racist Mandos showed up, and they're not going to have any mixing of races. So they get in there, they're paid to break it up and bring that boy home to his, I'm assuming, conservative family. And that's exactly what they do. All right, before moving on, though, I got to give Disney credit. I mean, they made history yet again. This was the first interspecies alien kiss on Disney+. So, way to go, Disney. All right, so we have Din, Bo, Grogu, and R5-D4. They go to Plazir 15. I don't know. I mean, they're running out of names for this crap. You can tell they're really stretching at this point. Basically, from the outside, all the buildings look like the Orlando airport. And from the inside, it looks a little bit like Logan's Run. And in fact, guns are not allowed, armies are not allowed inside the dome. But they do let Din Djarin and Bo-Katan into the dome because weapons are intrinsic to their religion. But I'm thinking they wouldn't let Axe Woves and his army in. But aren't guns and weapons intrinsic to their religion as well? It wasn't making a lot of sense to me. All right, and our heroes quickly meet Jack Black, who is Captain Bombardier. And I see him as sort of like a Lando figure. He obviously schmoozed and charmed the Duchess, played by Lizzo. just to assume power of these domes, or I don't know what's exactly going on. The city, it's not a cloud city, it's a dome city. So I kind of see Jack Black as a Lando-y type person. Anyway, our heroes walk into them having dinner, and Lizzo is finding Baby Yoda so adorable, and she feeds him fish. And eventually they take our heroes aside and say, hey, listen, we're having trouble with our droids. Could you help us with our droids? I mean, we would hire the Mandalorians outside the dome, but we can't bring them in because we don't allow armies or guns in. But you guys are here and guns are intrinsic to your religion, so you're allowed in here and you can help us. But I wasn't getting any of that because Axe Wove's guns are intrinsic to his religion. So can you guys help me out with that in the comments? I wasn't getting that. Anyway, if you help us investigate our rogue robots, we will officially recognize Mandalore as an awesome place. And Bo and Din are like, yes, that's worth it. Let's investigate those robots. All right, so I'm a Jack Black fan. I don't want to be hating on Jack Black, but when I did see him, I thought it was distracting. What did you guys think? I know everybody in Hollywood wants to, be in everybody's business, and The Mandalorian was a very popular show at one point, not so much anymore. So, people are going to be calling their agents and saying, hey, get me on that Mandalorian show. And maybe Jack Black is a fan, I get that, but I found it distracting. Then when it comes to Lizzo, I didn't know who she was. I had to go look it up. I knew she was somebody. And then Google shared with me the lovely pictures. She's a big lady that likes to wear very little. I don't know how I feel about that. I have mixed emotions about that. Let me know. Any Lizzo fans out there? Star Wars fans? How do we feel about Lizzo being in the show? I guess the biggest question I have is why? Why Meg Thee Stallion and She-Hulk? Why Lizzo in The Mandalorian? Why? Is she a super uber Star Wars fan? Is she? Okay. All right. I don't know the backstory, but I'm just going, why? She was fine. Like, the acting is eh. The dialogue this season in the show anyway is just vanilla. It's just filler. So I feel like all these performances are now filler as well. But just why? Why do we have to have Lizzo in our Star Wars show? All right, so the very first place we go on our journey with our heroes to discover the secret of the mystery of the rogue droids is to visit Jim from Taxi. That's right, Doc Brown himself, Christopher Lloyd. He is like some head of security guy, and they go meet Christopher Lloyd, and he shows our heroes a video of all these robots acting up all over the city. And so Christopher Lloyd, I feel a little different about. He was less distracting. Perhaps that's because Christopher has been in Star Trek and Back to the Future, and he's older now. So he looks a little bit different than the last major thing he's done. So I was less distracted by him, and I thought he did a pretty good job. He was actually like getting into the character a bit. So yeah, I'm fine with that. And we're going to see him again in this episode. So basically, Christopher Lloyd's character, the name, I don't care, sends our heroes down to the very sewers of the city to talk to some Ognaughts. Yeah, I think I said that right. And at first, the Ognaughts won't talk to Din Djarin until he says, hey, I'm friends with Nick Nolte. And then they just start talking to him. All right, our heroes get evidence that lead them to a dock where these battle droids, the regular battle droids and the super battle droids, are loading and unloading some stuff at a dock. And Din starts poking at one of the super battle droids, and the battle droid takes a swing and runs off like Usain Bolt. This super battle droid is hauling ass. He's not like the ones in Attack of the Clones. Oh no. This guy can run. I'll tell you what. And our heroes hunt the droid down, and I don't know if you guys caught this, they basically recreate the scene in Blade Runner where Daryl Hannah is taken out. So the droid has Din Djarin down, there's broken glass everywhere, and then Bo from behind shoots the droid, and the droid falls. It's exactly like what went down in Blade Runner with Daryl Hannah. All right, so Bo and Din walk into a droid bar, right? Yeah, remember droids weren't welcome in the bar on Mos Eisley back in A New Hope, but this bar is a droid bar, only droids. And they go walking in there, and I kind of did like it because there's just about every droid you ever wanted to see again in this bar. Like, they're all there. From every movie, from everything in Star Wars, most of them are there. So basically, our heroes get the bartender to confess that he doesn't serve alcohol to these droids. No, 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 no. He serves some like robot lubricant to the droids. And they do figure out that the droids that went rogue all had the same bad batch. See what I did there? Next, our heroes end up in a droid morgue. I can't remember exactly why. I guess they're some of the rogue droids ended up in the droid morgue. So they're checking them out. And then one of the torture droids, the torture droid from A New Hope that was going to prod Princess Leia with the needle. There's one of those here, but it's all white. And all of a sudden it goes all rogue and starts attacking our heroes. I did like to see that thing in action. It was like shooting lasers and stuff. I thought that was actually kind of cool. I think after that settles down, we do some more investigating, and we basically find out that inside the Bad Batch are like nanobots, nanites, I don't know, some nano robot technology, and they can they zoom up really, really tight with a microscope or something, and they can read that these things all came from Christopher Lloyd, the security guard. So yeah, he's the one behind creating the Bad Batch to make the robots go rogue. All right, so they approach Christopher Lloyd, and he confesses that he was a fan of Count Dooku, and that's why he's trying to make robots go rogue. I don't know. Bo-Katan stuns him because Bo-Katan does all the heavy lifting in this series. They bring him to justice before the Duchess Lizzo, and Lizzo does not kill him, but exiles him to a moon because she rules not only with big guns, but a big heart. All right, after all that droid nonsense, Bo-Katan is outside the dome and challenges Axe Woves so she can reclaim leadership of her former Mando clan and unite all the Mandos because she walks both ways, I guess, right? Because she saw the mythosaur. Okay, all right, so she challenges Axe and they fight, and it's a sloppy, clumsy fight in my opinion. Sure, they're going to use every Mando weapon, I guess. We've seen them before. We're going to see them again. And Bo wins. Of course, Bo wins. And Din Djarin gives Bo the dark saber. He comes up with some reason. She saved him from the thing that beat him, so the saber should be hers. It's complicated. Don't worry about it. The music gets loud, and then the episode is over. All right, that's it. Another episode of The Bo Show in the books. It's not really about Din Djarin and Grogu anymore. It's about Bo-Katan reuniting all those Mandalorians. I just don't think that's very compelling television. I think the idea of a droid revolt, that would have been interesting. You can string that mystery and that idea across a season. Maybe it's a galaxy-wide revolt of these droids, and they're getting emotions and they're free thinking and that kind of thing. And what's behind that? In Star Wars, we're beating to death Rebels versus Empire, Resistance versus remnants of the Empire, or First Order. It's the same two factions all the time, and it's getting old. It's been old for a while. So a third threat, a rise of the robots, would have been something different and something interesting. Big missed opportunity there. But the biggest question is, why is Lizzo here? Why is she here? Is Kathleen Kennedy a big Lizzo fan? She must be. I see Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. I still like those guys. I think they're trying to give us Star Wars. And then they got to deal with the Lucasfilm story group and Kathleen Kennedy, who probably went to a Lizzo concert the night before this was shot and went up to Dave and said, we met Lizzo backstage and she's so awesome. You gotta put her in this episode. Is that what's happening here? It probably is. All right, guys. As always, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. How do you feel? What are your feelings towards season 3, this episode, and Lizzo? Let's go. Let's get it on. All right, everybody, have a great day, a great week. I will see you soon. And as always, I will see you on the new.